Well, hello, welcome to my shop here. My name is Jerry, and while we're waiting on some bearings for our JD type tube bender, I also came across some detailed blueprints of the Hossfeld type bender, and so had some scrap 1/2 inch left over from a project, and just enough to cut one of these out of the scrap that's left. So we decided to go ahead and build it. We've already got the main frame drilled out and kind of set up here, and these are the will be the swinging arm. I just got a next plan here is to cut the spacers out. Had to use, I didn't have any heavy wall pipe. These are 5/8 inch bolts, and I'm trying to drill. I didn't have a drill bit long enough to go through to drill out a piece of, probably would have used a 2 inch solid round. And kind of playing here how to set this up. You know, I got the holes in the table here, and probably should have thought about that a little bit in advance and threaded the one end of that, or one of these arms. So I run my bolts through, and that would tighten them down, and they would extend on through through the holes in the table. But instead, what I ended up gonna do is, when I built this welding table, I put some receivers down here. Only thing is, I didn't have any seamless tube, and so what I end up doing kind of is taking an end mill and milling out a groove, and the seam in that receiver will fits in there. Fit good till I welded, maybe. It's not rubbing on that. Well, that thing just fit in there perfect until I welded it. Kind of wonder it did arc a little bit. Yeah, hopefully it didn't end up warping that. I wouldn't. Yeah, that was. When I had laid it on the table, it arced a little bit when I went to weld it. And here's one of the instructions, or the blueprints I found. There's like 40 pages long, and not only did it include these arms, it gave the dimensions on a bunch of the dies. And so here's one of the pieces that and there'll be a bolt on here. I think it's for clamping for a certain bend, and I'm not sure. Still learning some of the things that this can do, but while I had it up there, and so I drew that out and got it cut out. But this is the piece that came out of there, and I was going to weld that on there, and then once I got this welded, tap this for the 5/8 bolts so I can run the bolts, and then I don't have any nuts. But I got just enough of the 1/2 inch. I'm going to cut a little bit bigger piece that fits a little better. Okay, just about out of battery here. I don't know if I'll get this. Couple of pieces I forgot that had fallen into the water here. On one of the parts there's a hand nut, I guess you'd call it. Anyway, I cut a couple of them out. They're not very pretty, but they're grippy enough and smooth, so when we build that die, we'll have those. Okay, here we go. We'll cut this piece out. And this is 1/2 inch. Okay, we got our piece cleaned up and welded on there, and we put our piece on here, and put a little mark here so we kind of know how far in, because I don't know this measurement. I mean, I can go measure it out, but when I drilled all these holes, I started on this end, so everything is indexed from this first hole all the way through. And this isn't that critical, as long as we're close. I mean, we got to make sure that these two are exactly the 6 inches. I do know that figure there, so we got to drill and tap these 6 inches